Here we go. Summer break has arrived upon us.
It is the first day of summer break.
First
Last day of school is on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Got it.
In the future.
Yeah, in the future. So
it's the first day of summer break.
First day of summer break.
And for our lovely angels that are attending school in the Highland School District.
Probably still sleeping.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you're lucky.
Well, that means that my kitchen isn't a mess yet if they're still sleeping.
Well, the podcast gets released early in the morning, so hopefully moms are out here listening to this bright and early alone in silence and perhaps a little bit of alone time.
So it might be the last moment of silence that you get for the next 90 days.
Until breakfast number 1, followed by breakfast number 2, snack, lunch
Where am I
number
going?
2.
Where are we going? Where are you taking me?
Yeah. Where's our field trip?
Can you take me here? Can we do this today?
When does my camp start?
Yeah. What else? What else do kids ask?
How many games do we have tonight? Where are we headed? Can I sleep over at...
It's day 1.
Do you think any of them are going to ask, Mom, what are you doing today?
No.
Really? You don't think any kids are going to ask that?
Only if it involves if they're doing something for them.
Oh, is that how summers go?
I think so.
I don't really know yet. I still take mine to Latchkey.
So your kids are going to go to Latchkey. They're young. They cannot be on their own. Your children you got a wide range of kids at home. They're all staying home.
And that can be problematic, as you know, because we expect the older ones to help out with the younger ones.
Yes.
Keyword expect.
Need. And they don't always, hope. They don't always comply.
Yes, and my kids are getting older now, so I do not have to deal with the summer daycare rush. But we know that a lot of the moms out here listening, this is either a day where things lighten up for you and you have a little more time, or
you have no time.
Yeah, the word break is not a real word. It's just a word. The meaning of break or summer vacation doesn't apply to what's getting ready to happen over the next several months until school starts again.
Yeah, it's the break for the kids, not break for anybody else. Mm-hmm.
It's not really a break for the kids either once we see their schedules, but
It's from school, it's a break.
Yeah, it's a break from school. So what we want to talk to you guys about today is the schedules that we have created for the summer. Are you on the schedule? Is Mom on the schedule for the summer?
My bet is no.
That would be my bet.
That would be my bet too. And I would also guess, because I've asked lots of moms in the gym what the plans are for the summer, and immediately they told me all the things their kids were doing. Mm-hmm. They knew down to quite possibly up to when the first day of school was, all the camps they'd be attending, the activities they'd be participating in, the weeks of practices, sleepaway camps, sports camps, if they're going to do the plays this summer, all the things that they were going to do. So luckily for the moms in the gym, we know they've got their priority in line for them to attend us for workouts. But what about all of you moms out there who are not on the schedule?
Yeah, I even think for the ones that do come to the gym, I know there sometimes can be a little bit of a drop off. Sometimes moms start to miss, I had to do this, I had to do that, instead of learning to say no.
I mean, we've all seen the attendance in June, July, and August.
That's why we do special things to try to really encourage people to attend in those months.
Yes, but even this week already, I've been talking to moms who are teachers about what their schedule is going to look like to get them thinking about it. Well, we've been talking to them for the past several weeks, but what is your schedule going to look like when you hit your summer routine? And that's really what we're all getting ready to face. If you have kids, is we're all getting ready to go into summer routine, whether we're, obviously teachers this is going to be a different time for them, but all of us are going into that season of life where it's summer break for kids from school and our schedules are going to change. So where does Mom fall on the schedule?
Yeah, on the priority list. And like you said, bet she's not even on it yet. So with that being the case, how does Mom get on the schedule? like if all these things are already planned and looking at it, how do we get mom on the schedule?
Well, I mean, we could start simply with what we kind of talked about when we opened up the show was maybe it's an early morning time that you set aside a small amount of time to either do something that's just for you, whether that be listening to the podcast or going for a walk or reading or just something where you're not waking up first thing and your first priority is to care for the kids, so that you're actually having some time to yourself, whether that's even just sitting on your patio, drinking a cup of coffee if you do that, or at your kitchen table, but just some time that you know is just for you.
Yeah, because we know kids don't want to get up early, so that's the least likely time that they're going to try to disrupt you is 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. If they're teenagers, 12 o'clock. That's how I was when I was a teenager. I slept till at least noon, I think.
What's for dinner?
Yeah, I think I woke up because my mom walked in the door getting home from work.
So that could be an idea is just getting up a little bit earlier, even if that means, which I know from experience, when my kids were younger and I didn't have to be at an office or anywhere, I would sleep in a little longer. So there might be a little discomfort around that. You may be like, oh, well, this is my time to sleep in. But again, asking yourself about, well, what can I gain if I set my alarm 15 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier? Would that give me some alone time that I could gather my thoughts, prepare for my day? And again, then I'm going to show up better when they get out of bed.
Speaking of gather your thoughts, with all the chaos, maybe we just need to write it all down.
I was actually thinking about
organize the thoughts. And while, yes, we've heard people, all these moms, yes, we got this, and this. And it just sounds so crazy. So there's no time left for anything. But have they actually wrote it down, looked at the calendar, looked at the day by day, and said, there's still no time? Or I bet they would find some holes and some gaps where like, yeah, I could fill in right there. That time could be for me. And it would all make sense. But if you leave it spinning in your head that it's just too much, then that's the story that you will continue to say.
I know that's worked in our whole household a lot better is we have the schedule day to day. And right now we are day to day. We don't look past the next day because that in itself can be too overwhelming. So it is.
Why? What happens? I'm just joking. I
you
know.
Never know.
I know. The saying that I've heard is May is December in a tank top. We know how busy that December is with the holidays, and then kids are going to go on that Christmas break, and again, it creates a lot of chaos. And May is the same way. My son just graduated from high school. We're hosting a party for him. We traveled in May. Just a lot of things, and then I saw that May is December in a tank top. I'm like, yes, 100%.
That's really good.
So at the beginning of the year, we asked everybody to write down what they wanted their year to look like, right? And this could be the exact same thing that you're saying. Like, what do you want? If it's the first day of summer break, what do you want summer break to look like for you, for mom, not for anyone else? What do you want summer break to look like for mom for the next few months? And see if you can't use that as a tool to dig out that space that Jeff's talking about in your calendar. Like, I would really like to start a walking habit or getting up earlier or going to bed earlier, right? With not having a wake up time, you may also not have a bedtime, right? So there's lots of opportunities to create time for you, but you are going to have to look for it. And I have to mention this one, screen time. Our phones are so nice to us that they create a whole little section for us to figure out where the time suck is. And you can go there and look at what your average daily screen time is. So before you say, I don't have any time, just go check that. Just go check it and just take the data and think about it.
You don't even have to share it with anybody.
You don't have to share it with anybody.
Just look at it and then look in the mirror.
It's true, though.
I mean, that's the only person you need to share it with. You're the only person that matters. So take a hard look in the mirror and ask
Yes.
yourself that question.
Do
How
I
much
really not have any time?
Yeah.
do I really not have any time, or just how much time am I spending looking at my screen? And I promise there's something there.
Yes.
I'm guilty. Everybody's guilty.
I'm guilty.
Absolutely.
But so one of the things that, if that's one of the issues, like find a podcast you like and go for a walk, and then you can still like consume some information that you like, or if it's a story you like to listen to or information, and then go for a walk, right? So now you're getting to enjoy that information you were looking to consume, and you're going for a walk. You're doing something active. You could pair a habit like that as well.
Yeah. So the time is there. It's just, how do we find it? How do you make it? But it has to start with, what priorities do you have for yourself? That's number one. Like, if you don't even know what that is, then you'll never even try to get it in the schedule. So I guess step one would be write down what you want your summer to look like. What are the priorities for yourself? Then you can go to everybody else, then write your schedule out, take a look at it, and then plug in the holes. And then if you can't find any, look at screen time. And then look in the mirror.
In the mirror.
And I know for me, with having 4 kids, and baseball is a big thing in our family, I've found, and I know I've said this before, but look at those times that you're spending sitting at practices or games. I have had to get really smart with how I use those times. Like when the kids go to practice, a lot of times the parents will all sit and chat for 2 hours. I use that time to go for a run, or to go for a walk and listen to a podcast, or when you're dropping them off to do warm-ups an hour before a game starts, I go and try to utilize that time. It may not always be a walk. Maybe it's a trip to the grocery store, or, it is a run or a walk, or, something, but I'm not just sitting, I guess I'm kind of the outcast parent then that doesn't hang out with everybody, but I'm utilizing
Maybe you
that.
could start walking as a group. Like if you're a group of moms that are at a game, like, just be the one to step up and say, who would like to have this conversation while we take a few laps around the park?
Yes, that is a really good idea. And I remember doing that at a couple of my son's baseball games a long time ago. And I didn't ask anybody to come with me, but I felt like I was getting a lot of strange looks from people. But then I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm out here. It was a time for me to get something done, and I wanted to get it done.
I bet if you would have asked, somebody would have said, you know what?
I didn't.
I would love to join you.
Yeah, I don't ask. And maybe I should, but
Or maybe you want that time to yourself. It doesn't matter. But
I don't mind the time.
Yeah.
and like I said, I think, again, I think people would, or there's some envy to that. Like, oh man, she goes and does that, uses this time and goes for a walk. I
Right.
should do that. I guarantee that went through their heads.
Yes.
So
I've just found for myself, if I don't utilize that time, then I may not get that run or that walk, or, I may not get it in because I don't prioritize another time.
yeah. So
And it really sounds like this is all coming down to looking at the time that we have available and what we can do in that time, especially if we've set a intention or made it a priority when we wrote it down to.
yeah. And
To-
if you need
to do that.
and if you need help looking at your, like, trying to find, like, how do I do this, and you need to walk through this with somebody, let us know. Be happy to walk you through the process to make this happen and prioritize yourself.
Yes.
Any other thoughts?
No, enjoy summer break.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
day one. I love day ones of stuff.
Day one.
Day
So,
one. What can you do this
prioritize
summer?
yourself.
Sorry, quit talking over me.
Out.